What's up, traders? Going 5 for 6 today. As always, we're going to jump right into the trades. Let's see. CROX was our first trade. As you can see, this thing decided to go way up after we played it. But as you can see, highs from Friday as well as pre-market here made a nice little move up through 50. Got short, and we're looking for half that pullback. We got it. And it decided to keep dumping like pretty much right after we got out. It was kind of sad. We had the order out the cover where we did, so not too upset about it. However, for some reason, I thought we were going to make more on this. So we took 50 shares. If you look at the two arrows, it kind of looks like almost the whole point. But we only made 29 bucks on it. So I was a little, I don't know. I thought when I put my take profit order out that we were making more than that on that trade, but is what it is. MDB. This one was kind of an iffy trade. The volume was really crap. There was like one big volume bar at the open, and then after that, there really wasn't much. So it was kind of playing with fire here. Wasn't really looking to let it go too much further. 285 was looking for an ad on this first move, but once it started to pull back right here, pretty much told myself if it goes to the highs, we're going to cut it, and if we can get a little bit of a pullback, we'll take it. We took it off, and it did try to go back up after that, but then ultimately ended up giving a really nice pullback. We only had 10 shares of this, but at 280 down here to, what did this get to? 273. That's still 70 bucks for some reason if we held it that long. So pretty decent opportunity there. Just didn't quite get the results that we were looking for. BLUE, blue, was our next trade. This one was a bit frustrating because I FOMO'd into this one. It was making a decent move, but it wasn't anything crazy. But the pop through 5 is what we were looking for. It started to run into resistance right there under 5, trying to use the whole dollar's resistance. So we started for 100 shares. It came up to 5, and it just looked like it was going to reject. So we added 100 shares. So we were in 200 shares, and it decided to go through 5. So I was a little annoyed. It didn't quite get to 520. It went up to 510, 511, 512. And we added 100 shares there at 509 on the rejection of that high of day there at 512, hoping that we might get a little bit more of a push, but we wanted to leave some shares available. We didn't want to just hit it for 200 here, because then if it does go to 520, 530, now we're starting to get a little too heavy too quick. So I was trying to space my ads, especially because I FOMO'd into this early. My first entry should have been here, and we ended up losing out on some decent money here, I believe, because of that. So when we added this 100 shares, it brought our average to 501. We took some off here at 495 once we realized it wasn't going to really try to go any lower before trying to bounce. And I told myself, just the way that I played it, I was kind of mad at myself. If it got back up through that previous candle, which was, if we scroll in, you can see this candle here, 505. I said, if it gets to 506, we'll just take it off. And sure enough, it goes to 506. We take it off at 506. And then immediately after that, it dumps all the way back down to 486. Not sure I would have taken anything off, because we were looking for like 470s for that other 100 when we took this first 100 off, and we didn't get it. So I'm pretty sure probably still would have stopped out at the same spot, and is what it is. Next trade was Roblox. We actually took 2 trades on Roblox. The first one ended up being red, and then the second one ended up being green. But as you can see, we were looking for more out of it. But first trade, pretty much extension from previous resistance. Made a decent little move. Started at half size because, again, we kind of FOMO'd into this. Looking for that $0.50 pop. Didn't get it. So we started it, but then we got it right afterwards. So we added the other half of our starter there. We were looking to scale out. It just was struggling to fall back down, but we were looking for closer to 37 for the other shares, and we just couldn't get it. Started to go back up. Gave it a little leeway. Again, we were using a previous candle looking for that curl. 37.70 was that, and I think we took those off at 37.70, and it ended up going to the highs. So that ended up being red because we gave it back. We gave back a few cents on those second part of the shares. It was basically break even, but it was a little red. And right after that, we get a nice little pop up through the $0.50 this time. Goes to 68. We end up getting short at 67. Basically top tick this. Gives us an immediate pullback. We take off half, looking for the other half to come down here. And I've kind of felt that since we didn't get a pullback here, I was looking for the bigger pullback from this one. But as you can see, it did try to work its way a little bit higher. And once we broke this candle here, I mean, this is a pretty big move. We basically top ticked this thing. Was going to use high of day as my stop because we were so close to the top. But after this stuff move here, because it came down, tried to go back up, and it got stuffed all the way down here when we took these shares off here. I figured if it gets back above here, 64, that close to high of day, which was 68, that we were gonna go to high of day. And as you can see, we take it off at 66 on the break of this candle here, 64, and it immediately rejects. 68 was the high there. We took it off at 66, and it comes all the way back down to where we were. Don't think I would have taken anything off there. And again, it went back up to the highs. It did break through a little bit here by a couple cents, and then ultimately it tried to come down again to that same area. Probably still holding because again was probably looking for the bigger move down, and ultimately it ended up going up higher. So that was my 2 trades on Roblox. Nothing too special there. I believe that was the last trade that we caught on stream. Yeah, and then ONEM was a volume out of nowhere that went into a halt. We were watching this thing out of the halt. We actually jumped in this with decent size. I mean, for considering the move, it was 100 shares, volume out of nowhere. It was looking to make, a decent amount on this one. Was looking for that big pullback, maybe down to the halt price, maybe down towards 9. But I wanted to have some decent share size. So it comes up to 10, starts to reject again, FOMO into this thing before 10, which is kind of why we ended up probably with more shares than I wanted, because I wanted the 100 shares. If I would have played it correctly, probably should have took 50 and then 50 on the ad, but whatever. 100 took 100 off, and then it tried to come down lower. When it started to come back up, I was like, nope, not playing this game. I didn't like the way the price action was. It was really weird. It felt like it was being held up, but it looks like there might have been a price somewhere, because I mean, this thing just went sideways. There was really no pullback. It tried to go higher, came back to the same area, tried to go higher, same area, tried to come back down, same area. I mean, it feels like people have determined that because it was like a takeover rumor, so maybe they're treating it like a buyout, and this was kind of the price that they settled on. So maybe they're just fighting in between this range, but I don't know. It didn't feel right, so I got out, and as you can see, as we did, it did go higher, and I was ready to jump back in this up through 1050, but as you can see, we never got that move, and that was that. So almost $60, not bad for a first day back. 6 trades. I wasn't expecting to trade 6 times, but a lot of smaller trades, a lot of FOMO, which led to not great profits because we ended up kind of fighting our average a little bit with the ads. And then honestly, we just didn't get really good pullbacks today, minus that CROX. That was really the only one that had a good pullback. And then on top of that one, I feel like I messed up somewhere thinking I was going to make more on that one, which if I would have did the math in my head, I guess, instead of just looking at the chart, probably could have made a little bit more because I might have put my order a little bit lower. I mean, it is what it is. That's all I got. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always appreciate that support. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. You can find me in Discord, find me over on Twitter. I will be here tomorrow for the trading day, but Thursday and Friday is kind of up in the air. We fly out tomorrow night to go to one of our friends' weddings in Oregon. And so I won't be back until Sunday. And yeah, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Stay safe, and I'll see you then. Peace.